There are cameras built 60 and 70 years ago that a working professional will happily pick up and shoot with tomorrow morning. And there are cameras built 2 years ago that are already electronic junk, unfixable and unwanted. That single difference is the whole point of this video. The camera industry decided that the newest release is automatically the best one, and that the machine in your hands should quietly expire so you go and buy the next. But a small number of cameras were built the old way: mechanical, repairable, and honest. The kind of tool you buy once and hand down to your grandchildren still working. These are the only 7 cameras you can genuinely still trust. The true buy it for life list. Not the rarest, not the most expensive, but the ones that simply refuse to die. The ones any good technician can keep alive for another 50 years. And number 1 is the camera a lot of collectors quietly consider the finest ever made. If you believe a well-built tool should outlast the person who owns it, subscribe, because this channel is built for you. Let's count them down. One honest ground rule first, because this audience knows its equipment. Every camera here is fully or almost fully mechanical, meaning it works without relying on electronics, and any battery inside runs the light meter only, never the shutter. Every one is still serviceable by real technicians today, with decades of proven reliability behind it. Every price is a used market range, not a promise. And with old cameras, condition and a proper service change, everything. This is not a list of the greatest cameras ever made. It is a list of the ones you can still count on. Now, counting down. Number 7, the Pentax K1000. For decades, this was the camera handed to first-year photography students, and there is a very good reason it never dies. It is almost entirely mechanical. The meter needs a small battery, but the shutter fires at every speed with a completely dead cell, so a flat battery in the cold cannot stop it. It is simple, tough, and has survived generations of abuse that would kill anything modern. A good one costs between $150 and $350, the cheapest honest door into a lifetime camera. The fair caveat: it is deliberately basic, and the very late examples were built in China rather than Japan, so the early Japanese ones feel that bit finer. But as a first real camera that will outlive you, almost nothing touches it. Number 6, the Olympus OM1. In 1972, an engineer named Yoshihisa Maitani set out to build a professional camera far smaller and quieter than anything else, and he stamped his own initial on it, the M for Maitani. It launched as the M1 until Leica pointed out they already had a camera by that name, so Olympus quietly renamed it the OM1. It is a jewel of mechanical engineering, small in the hand, whisper quiet, and built to be repaired, and good examples run roughly $150 to $400. The fair caveat every owner needs to hear: its meter was designed around a mercury battery now banned worldwide, so you fit a modern zinc air replacement or a small adapter, never a raw modern cell, or the meter will simply lie to you. And to be clear, this is the mechanical film camera, not the recent digital model that borrowed the same name. Number 5, the Nikon FM2. If you want one mechanical camera to take anywhere on Earth, this is the answer most photographers land on. Every shutter speed, all the way up to 1/4000th of a second, fires without a battery, which only powers the meter. It shoots in freezing cold that shuts electronic cameras down. It takes years of professional abuse, and it just keeps going. Expect around $350 to $550 for a clean one. Its bigger professional brother, the Nikon F2, is every bit as indestructible if you want something heavier. The fair caveat: the thin metal shutter blades can be dented by careless fingers, so you check those before you buy. But a healthy one is about as close to a permanent camera as 35mm film has ever produced. Quick pause, because we are halfway. If a list built on things that actually last is your kind of thing, subscribing costs you nothing and tells me to keep digging these up. And I want to hear it. What is the oldest camera sitting on your shelf right now? Now, the top 4. Number 4. The Canon F1, the original from 1971. This was Canon's last purely mechanical professional camera, and they built it like a weapon, engineered to survive 100,000 shots, to work from 30 degrees below zero all the way up to 60 above, and to shrug off 90% humidity. Everything except the meter is mechanical, so it fires with no power at all. This was the camera Canon used to go head-to-head with Nikon for the professional market, and the survivors still feel utterly bulletproof. A good body sits around $300 to $600. The fair caveat, it is heavy. Its meter needs that same old mercury battery workaround, and do not confuse the original all-mechanical F1 with the later new F1, which is a part electronic design. Get the real early one, and you are holding a genuine tank. Number 3. The Rolleiflex, the twin-lens medium format classic. Now we step up in size and in image quality. You hold this one at waist height and look down into a bright square finder, while 2 matched lenses, one to view and one to shoot, sit stacked on the front. The design was so right that it barely changed for the better part of 60 years, and a well-kept Rolleiflex runs for generations. Prices range from around $800 for a humbler model, to well over $2,000 for the prized f2.8 versions. The fair caveat, the viewing screens dim with age, focusing is slower and more deliberate, and a proper service is not cheap. But the negatives it produces. Dwarf 35mm, and the whole machine has a mechanical smoothness that modern gear simply cannot fake. Number 2. The Hasselblad 500 cm. This is the modular Swedish medium format system that professionals have trusted for over half a century, and famously, a version of this exact camera went to the moon. It is completely mechanical, with no meter and no electronics to fail, and the shutter actually lives inside each lens rather than in the body. Best of all, everything comes apart. The lens, the film back, and the finder all swap independently, so you repair or upgrade one piece without touching the rest. To save weight coming home, a dozen Hasselblad bodies were actually left behind on the surface of the moon across the Apollo missions. A body or a basic kit runs around $1,000 to $2,000, and it is still earning its keep in working studios today. The fair caveat, each lens is its own shutter to service, and you check the film back light seals, but this is a camera that shoots like new gear and lasts like an anvil. And number 1, the camera a great many photographers quietly consider the finest ever made. The Leica M, and specifically the M3 and the later M6. The M3 arrived in 1954 with a viewfinder so bright and so accurate that Leica has arguably never bettered it, and they built well over 200,000 of them, so they are still out there. It is a mechanical rangefinder of almost unreal precision, assembled and adjusted by hand. The kind of heirloom that quietly appreciates in value, even while you use it every day. A clean M3 runs around $1,300 and up, while the metered M6, a favorite of street photographers, climbs to $3,000 or $4,000 and beyond. The fair caveat matters. Leica no longer supplies parts to independent repair shops, so with the grail of this list, you buy carefully, on condition and service history, and you treat it as the lifetime companion it was built to be. So here is how to actually buy one of these and have it last. First, budget for a proper service the moment you buy. what technicians call a CLA, a clean, lubricate, and adjust. For a couple of $100s, a specialist resets the clock on one of these cameras by decades, and real shops still do this work all over the world. Second, for any of the older metered cameras, fit the correct zinc air battery or an adapter, never a raw modern cell, so the meter reads true. And third, remember the simple law that runs through this whole list. A mechanical camera can be opened and fixed. An electronic one is on a countdown, which is why the fully mechanical bodies here are the safest bet of all. So the bottom line is the one the industry would rather you not sit with. The newest camera is not automatically the best camera. It is simply the one they most need you to buy. The greatest tools ever made were built to be serviced, not replaced. And a handful of these will still be taking beautiful photographs long after this year's flagship is a drawer full of dead electronics. So now I want to hear from you. Of these 7, which one would you put at number 1? And what is the camera that has served you longest? The one you would never sell? Tell me the make and the model in the comments, and I read every single one. And if this was useful, hit like and subscribe, because there is a lot more of this coming.